Picture a high-stakes meeting. One person sits at the edge of the table, carefully observing, barely saying a word. Yet when they finally lean in and speak, the entire room goes dead silent to listen. This is the quiet authority. Someone who effortlessly commands the dynamic without ever raising their volume. We struggle to replicate this calm presence because of a societal shift known as the extrovert ideal. During the rise of industrialization, our culture moved away from valuing inner character and began rewarding gregarious personalities. We started assuming that whoever produces the highest volume of words must naturally possess the best ideas. This cultural shift created a persistent expectation. To be valuable, you must be visible. In a modern high-stakes meeting, this expectation transforms into performance anxiety. We begin to fear that staying silent will be interpreted as a lack of competence, which triggers a biological urge to fill the air. This pressure leads to the ramble. We lose our train of thought, loop back to previous points, and over-explain simple concepts, desperately trying to talk our way into a sense of belonging. Conversational power is a technical skill. It is the learned discipline of knowing exactly when to stop speaking. The ramble starts with a physiological trigger. In high-pressure environments, cortisol floods the system and forces the brain into an anxious overdrive. For someone with a fast, connecting, intelligent mind, this often results in speaking long before the thoughts are fully organized. Over-talking functions as a defensive shield. When we lack confidence in the core of our argument, we instinctively use speed and excessive detail to prevent the audience from finding gaps in our logic. We can disrupt this panic through vocal mechanics. By intentionally slowing your delivery pace, you signal that you are secure in your space. It demonstrates that you have the internal composure to think while the room waits for you. Consider the analyst tone. You drop your pitch slightly and deliberately enunciate each word. This mechanical shift forces the audience to lean in, causing them to assign more weight to your statements. Look at this timeline for the traffic light rule. It provides a cognitive boundary to prevent over-talking. Your speech stays in the green for the first 20 seconds. Once you hit 40 seconds, you face a hard red light. You have reached the limit of the audience's natural attention span. Controlling your vocal pace and respecting these time boundaries does more than just make you sound polished. It is a physical mechanism that diffuses aggressive energy and forces the room to engage on your terms. Anxious speakers treat a gap in conversation as a void to be plugged. A quiet speaker treats silence as a tool of purpose. Communication experts call this the water on dry soul principle. An audience requires significantly more time to process a complex point than the speaker needs to say it. Silence acts as the absorption period for your ideas. Holding a pause immediately after a direct question or a proposal shifts the conversational pressure. It creates a psychological tension that often forces the other party to elaborate on their position or reveal their intentions just to break the quiet. To prevent wandering thoughts, use the PIRAP framework as scaffolding. State your point, provide a reason, offer an example, and restate your initial point. That final point is an explicit exit ramp designed to lock the thought in place and trigger your strategic silence. When you deliver a structured thought and comfortably hold the following silence, you signal a level of self-assurance that is difficult to ignore. It is the silence, not the speech, that commands the room's respect. This structural mastery allows for a different style of influence, leading from behind. It requires stepping back from the spotlight to focus on the collective genius of the group. Nelson Mandela famously compared a leader to a shepherd. The shepherd stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead, while the others follow, unaware they are being directed from the rear. We see this deeply observant style in quiet tech pioneers. This image shows a young Bill Gates studying a technical document. These leaders are often driven by solving world problems rather than the desire to control people, using their silence to solicit and synthesize the ideas of others. You can practice this today with the 30-second drill. Before you speak, force yourself to filter your complex thoughts into a single, concise anchor point. The loudest person might grab immediate attention, but they rarely leave a lasting impact. By listening deeply and weaponizing silence, you control the entire conversation. The quietest person in the room is not waiting to matter, they already do. Have you ever been in a situation where someone's silence was more powerful than a yell? Tell me about your experience in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into communication mastery.